All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy FOMC Wednesday. I shouldn't say happy. That's like the most miserable day of the month. And we'll see what Santa Claus Powell has in store for us here today. Not anticipating it to be a wild session by any means. Nothing compared to what yesterday was like, right? Yesterday, pretty, I would say nasty, but pretty busy day. Arguably my busiest day of the year. Maybe didn't need to have been that busy, but we can cross that bridge later on. And yeah, right. Generally, FOMC day, not a day where I want to be aggressive or a day where I want to get a tremendous amount of trades. It's more a day where I want to focus on, basically just seeing how market reacts and sets up here, right, post FOMC. Now, I have no idea what the Fed is going to do. I honestly don't care what the Fed is going to do. I care about what the market's reaction to that is here today. And potentially we can get ourselves a little bit of a positioning trade going into that event, or potentially a, like a slight personality change here, right? If that ends up kind of coming together. And we'll see how markets want to basically react to that news narrative. Today also, right, we should now be on the March 2025 contracts, right, on ES and NQ. And certainly going to create a little bit of a bias for us. And hopefully we can get some nice, smooth trending and easy tradable PA here today. And just get that one or two trades and kind of move on with our lives. Yesterday, I'm not going to apologize for it, nothing along those lines, but it was like my busiest session of the year. It was 13 trades yesterday, which if I'm thinking back to where I was or where my trading was in like February or March of 2024, I would not have 13 trades in a month sometimes. So I've been very happy with the progress and the change that I've made here as a trader. I think it's been very beneficial. I think if I look at my P&L, it's actually been a really positive equity curve change. And that's been fantastic, right? And it's not been that way because I'm taking more trades. That's not the reason. It's because on the trades that don't work out, I'm cutting them quickly. It's on the trades that do go in my favor, I'm taking them quickly and then trading that same thesis or that same idea with a second entry, right? So I don't need to catch a move on ES from 128.50 all the way to 200. I can catch it from 129 to 137 and then buy a pullback at 136 and sell it at 142. And I can trade that move much easier than trying to trade it and catch it all in one go. And I found that to be a little bit of a revelation here in the last month or so. It's been obviously a lot of fun to trade. I've had a lot more fun being that engaged. But like I said, right, it's not working because I am taking more trades, right? That is not the thing to take. That's not the conclusion to come from this. It's that I have made more money because I have lost smaller when I am wrong, and I'm closing my trades as my P&L is mostly increasing. So I'm taking those 1R, 1.5R, 2R wins instead of hunting and hoping and chasing and holding and screaming and begging and hoping I get lucky, right, to catch that 25R monster that will make it up. Instead, I'm focusing on losing half R, right, and I'm trying to get 1.5R as a win or 2R as a win. And that is creating so much more margin of error for me in my decisions, where my execution process is making it easy for me to be green. And easy is a relative term. I'm doing those like Austin Power air quotes. It's easy from a mathematical perspective. It's not easy from a decision perspective, right? It is hard to accept a small loss before it becomes a big loss because of that like hopium, because of that like self-imposed restriction we put on ourselves, because of our egos, right? Because of our desire that we want to be green and we want to be profitable and we want to be successful. And it is basically fighting back against those emotions, basically doing the opposite of those emotions. That has then made it easy for me to be mathematically successful here, right? And mathematically green, and to actually take advantage of whatever the market wants to give me. So that's been fun, right? That for me is something that I do not see myself changing here in the immediate short term. I see myself as looking to refine and improve that instead of looking to constrict that, right, and remove it. But I need you all to also realize is that if you want to trade this way, that you have to prove to yourself that you can execute one trade perfectly, right, before you can execute 5 trades perfectly, right, before you can execute 10 trades perfectly, before you can execute this and that. And a perfect execution has got nothing to do with your P&L. It's about closing winners quick, right? Closing losers quick. It's about closing winners before you get pulled back and give back your P&L. It's about being aggressive with your position sizing and having tight risk. It's about not allowing losses to be personal and to then change the basically routine of your next trading decision. And for most people, you have to build up the right to trade more, right? You can't just go from not trading one idea well to then going to trading 10 ideas perfectly, right? That is not a scale that actually works or one that is actually going to be successful for you. So instead, you need to delay that gratification. Okay, maybe you're not getting the P&L that you want here this week, this month, right, this quarter. But if you're going to ignore those execution cues that are going to help you scale up the quantity of decisions, then you're never going to be happy with your P&L because you're always going to succumb, right, to those mental capital flaws and faults, and you're always going to blow up, right, chasing something that isn't there because you're going to drain your mental capital before you go there. It's almost like going to the gym. Like, you can't bench 325, right, before you learn how to bench 250. And you can't learn how to bench 250 before you can bench 125, right? And it's a very similar thing. If you try to do something that is outside of your strength, right, before you have the evidence that you can push yourself to those limits, you're going to get crushed by the weight of that expectation, and you're going to get punished, right, by that process. You're just going to get hurt. So if you can't see that, right, if you can't view that objectively in your trading, okay, I need to fix my technique before I can bench 325 or 350 or whatever the number was, and you're not willing to commit to making that change, you're not going to be more profitable by taking more decisions, right? So I need everyone to understand that, to create that proof of concept for themselves individually, right? And then go from there. And this is what a paper trading account is fantastic for, right? Take your 1 or 2 trades a day, whatever you're working on, right? In your prop firm account, in your live account, in your cash account. And then once you've taken that, who says you can't practice, right, in your TradingView paper trader, or in your Interactive Brokers paper trader, or in your Robinhood paper trader? You can practice on the quality of your executions, right? You can improve the your technique. You don't have to just sit there on your hands doing nothing, festering in this, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, and all that kind of self-imposed bullshit. So you get better by being deliberate, right? And not every trading decision has to be one where you try to make money. You can get better as a trader without having to put any risk on in the market. Even if that means like just paper trading, right? Talked about this yesterday. Just literally write down on a piece of paper, okay, entry 127.25, stop loss 126.50. right? And practice, right? Build up that muscle memory, build up that knowledge. When I think about sports athletes, and okay, maybe I know not all of you are super into sports, but we all have a base idea of how it works, right? You don't just go out onto the field on Sundays and throw for 6 touchdowns, right? You spend the entire week in practice studying your opponents, right? Studying the game tape, practicing your route concepts on how to exploit that, reviewing your footage to understand what am I doing well, what am I doing wrong, what might the team want to use against me to exploit us, right, and beat us. And then you try to fix those mistakes and counter those problems before you ever get out to the field again on Sunday. I think the biggest misconception among traders is that they try to only trade on Sundays, right? Where they only try to go to game day. They don't do any practice in between. They don't study their game tape, right? They don't review their mistakes. They don't take accountability for the things that happen in between their trading. I've said this before and I will say it again, but trading is the fun part. It's not what work actually is as a trader. The work as a trader is everything you do outside of market hours, right? It's studying your flaws. It's studying your executions. It's studying your take profits. It's backtesting your strategies. It's finding new ideas. It's studying your flaws. It's learning how to further maximize your strengths. And if you choose to ignore those steps and you choose to not participate in that self-improvement process, then you are setting yourself up to consistently just remain stuck at the best, right? And to lose everything at the very worst. So, look, it's too late here for most people to make a change here in 2024. We've got, 5 trading days left in the year. That's not enough time to create a new habit. But you're all going to have a little bit of time off here in the next, 10 days, 15 days, whatever it might be. And you're going to have the opportunity to decide how you want to create your 2025, right? You are the one who knocks. You are the one who is in control. No one else, right, is going to be responsible for your success. Even if I win on 100% of my trades in 2025, which I promise you I will not, but even if I win on 100% of my trades in 2025 and you choose to not study your strengths, right? You choose to ignore your weaknesses, you will not match that same level of performance, right? That is a shortcut that will not get you where you want to go. It might get you some high highs, but it'll get you some high lows, right? And it'll feel exhausting when you see me making money while you're blowing up accounts, all because you're panic closing trades or you're closing winners, right, when they're at the smallest possible win, right, on pullbacks, on whatever. So you choose the outcome that you want here as a trader. And if you're not going to choose the correct one, and you're going to choose the one that feels like it's the most exciting but actually isn't the most profitable, and you're going to chase that P&L target before it actually is reasonable because you have the skills to accomplish it, it's not going to happen for you, right? I'm going to be honest with you here, right? It just won't happen. You'll keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. You'll keep finding reasons to blame something else. You'll keep, oh, it's the copier. Oh, it's the drawdown rules. Oh, it's Michael's trades. Oh, it's minis versus micros. Oh, it's trading ES, not NQ. It's anyone but me, right? And if you're always going to pass on the blame and you're always going to do something else, good luck to you, right? You're not going to achieve what you're looking for. So the challenge I have for everyone here today, and this is the last thing I'll say here, is if you want to be the best trader that you can possibly be, you have to hold yourself to a standard that would make most people uncomfortable, and you have to commit to learning from your mistakes. You have to commit to maximize your strengths. You have to commit to answering those uncomfortable questions. And the more that you can accomplish those objectives, the more that you can answer those questions, the more that you can hold yourself accountable, the better things are going to go. So with that being said, let's start mapping things out here on this FOMC day. Let's figure out what we want to kind of take advantage of, and let's set ourselves up for what should hopefully be a successful trading day. So first things first here, what's the count on ES? Let's start there and go from there. Yeah, we call it like a 1.5 out of 3 with volume here. 2.5 out of 3 with volume. Because I've seen it both red and green here so far. And why can we, or where's that volume possibly come from here this morning? So we know pretty big volume. What does that tell us? Or what's maybe the explanation for that volume? Yeah, roll finished yesterday, right? Spot on. So we could still technically have a little bit of a bias, right, relative to previous days. Might get bigger volume. We'll see. It'd be a bit challenging. But historically, right, post-roll, we're generally not seeing a bigger volume profile the following day. And that makes just sense, right? So, you know, might have to be a little bit patient here, but we could have a bit of a bias in either direction. I would prefer the downside. That seems to be the path of easier resistance. But we can definitely play this in both directions. Right, still a higher high, still a higher low, right? So we do have some bullish characteristics. And we'll say increasing vol because of the roll. Okay, and now ES1, right, and NQ1 should be reflected in the March contracts. So you don't have to change anything else here, right, based on your watch list. And then just like yesterday on the upside, we're going to be targeting 6150. To the downside here, 6110 and beyond. Right? Maybe we could fill that gap and go. Cool, cool, cool. NQ, what's the count? Similar, not so similar? How do we feel? Yeah, probably a bit of a smoother 3 for 3. And we'll say FOMC day here again. Right, and then still gonna be targeting a move towards 22.4, fine, and then to the downside here, 2200. So again, not too much changing, right, from a technical perspective. So let's see, right, how markets want to come together here today, and if we can get some nice tradable price action. One thing, right, generally with what we've seen here a little bit in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it might be, it's like markets want to create max pain first, a little bit of a fake out higher, a little bit of a fake out lower, a little bit of a chop before price action basically compresses and then gives us a move. Now with an FOMC here today at 2 o'clock, I'm not sure, right? You know, if that's necessarily going to be the narrative here today, but that would be something to keep an eye on, right? And just not get discouraged, right? Again, if we're going to get faked out early, it's better to get faked out losing $200 than it is to lose $500. And if you're going to sit there and be stubborn and take a max loss when a trade isn't behaving the way that you want, so be it, right? But you're going to make it a lot harder for yourself to be green, and you're going to limit your ability to actually sustain green trades. Okay, CL, right, green candle, roll, right, increasing outlier volume, bounce off the trend line though, right, pretty aggressive bounce off the trend line. We'll call this a 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume, right? Increasing vol because of the roll. All right, and then just sanity check here. Today is the Wednesday, the 18th. So we got crude oil at 10:30. Cool. And then again, right, we're looking for a very similar story here. So it's up towards 71.50, still reasonably the play. Back down towards sort of that 68 and lower area. Fine, could be the play. But we're going to be relatively flexible here again. But we're going to wait till a little bit later in the morning to trade CL. Okay, Apple, 1 out of 3 here, right? That is a decreasing volume standard. So we're still looking for that. Wow, 254. This thing does not stop. 254 breakout here to the upside, or a breakdown here under 250. I hear you, Rusty. Absolutely. Busy day yesterday. Okay, Tesla, 2 out of 3 here to the upside. I mean, you probably need the extra sleep with the newborn anyway. But hey, if the trading's the excuse, I won't complain. So we're looking 484 breakout here. Right? Or a dip buy off of 463 to 457. Wow, Rusty, that's very, very lucky. Okay, and then because it's a 2 out of 3 with volume, right? That means no bear case scenario here on Tesla. So we'll hold it out as is. Okay, Microsoft, 1 for 3 here again. So we're looking for a breakout now above 456. Whoops. Hey, Mikey, congratulations. Well, we're looking for a breakdown here under 449. Okay, Amazon, just barely a lower low, so not an inside bar here. And this will be a 1 out of 3 to the downside. And we need to get up and over 233. Or, right, a breakdown here under 228. What's the general theme we've seen from price action here so far today? So if we were to give a characteristic to our leading names prior to us looking at AMD and NVIDIA, what's the sort of general sentiment we're seeing? Any thoughts? Red candle, decreasing volume, gap up, right? So only one element is telling us that bears are in control, which is the candle color. Right? In general, I would say the theme that we're seeing here is that we have a kind of a slowing down trending market, right? Maybe not as much enthusiasm. So we've got like weak trending price action here at these highs. And so we'd like to see basically a breakout of that consolidation or some sort of personality change right, for us to get some good continuation. Okay. AMD inside bar on increasing volume, generally my least favorite setup. So we need to get over 128, right? Or under 123. So not too much changing. Again, I hate increasing volume inside bars. They're pretty shitty. Okay, NVIDIA, 3 for 3 here to the upside. Pretty big gap up, right? That's okay, Glenn. I got no problems with that. I mean, at this point, like, there's a lot of videos on the 3 for 3 system, so maybe review that. But we always care about 3 things, right? Candle color, candle shade, or candle color, candle volume, right? Pre-market price action. So everything should be based on what the candle's colors is. And if it's decreasing volume, right, not a count. If it's a gap up, right, not the same as a bearish candle. So spend a bit of time reviewing that. There's like a 20-minute video inside the Discord that should get you there. So we're looking for a 134 breakout here, or a gap fill and go. We're going to say NA, right, to the downside. Go from there. Okay, Meta, increasing volume, higher high, higher low, opening up in the implied give or take middle. It's a 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. So we're looking for a breakdown here under 616. Or, right, a rejection inside yesterday's range. Okay, Netflix. Red candle, decreasing volume, gap up, right? So 1 out of 3. So we're looking for a breakout over 929 or a breakdown here under 916. Okay. And then Google. Red candle, decreasing volume, 5-cent gap down. So 2 out of 3 here to the downside without volume. So either looking for a breakout here over 201.50. Right, or a breakdown here under, say, 195. And then go. Okay, and then last but not least here, right, VIX hanging out 15 spots, 6.8. It's a little bit elevated to what we've seen here in the last month or so, but nothing crazy, right? Anything to be hyper afraid of. So let's see basically how market's going to come together here this morning, right? In general, we're anticipating maybe a little bit of a slower, challenging, maybe not as enthusiastic day here as we're waiting for FOMC this afternoon. Right, so we'll cross that bridge, see if we get anything to set up. And yeah, hopefully we can get ourselves some early action and we can go on and enjoy our lives. Otherwise, happy to not trade here today. Like I said yesterday, I got more than enough trades for a week, right? Let alone a single day. So if I don't get any action here today, cool. If I get 10 trades again here today, cool. All I'm looking to do is to control the quality of my process and the quality of my technique. I'm not trying to optimize for a result, right? Or I'm not trying to solve for an intraday result. I'm trying to make decisions that make me profitable long term, not decisions that make me feel like I'm alive here today, right? Or that I'm vindicated here today. So if we're chasing that feeling, we're chasing that reward on an intraday basis, we are screwed. You need to get off of that roller coaster. If you're playing the game to get the best thing for you long term, you are setting yourself up for success. So choose that, right? If you can't delay that gratification, honestly, like why are you torturing yourself, right? Why you keep playing games or you then don't have an expectation to win. I don't understand that. I can't comprehend that. I can't relate to it. I can't sympathize with it. Right? Being in a rush to make money only puts you in a rush to lose. We all have a tremendous amount of evidence to suggest that is the case. So why do we keep behaving in a way that was proven to us that loses us money? I don't understand, right? I don't understand that addiction. That is ridiculous. It just reminds me of a quote, right? Where everyone gets what they want out of the market, and a lot of people, or most people, want the feeling as if they could be a winner and not actually wanting to be a winner, right? So they want the chance of winning the lottery. They don't actually want to win the lottery. And there's a big difference in how you behave and how you react when that's your mindset. So, look, I can only say it so many times. I can only tell you guys verbatim so many times. Delay that gratification. Play that long-term game. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do that. But you have to be the one that ultimately makes that choice. If you don't make that choice, I don't know how else I can repeat it and stress to you that that is the most important thing that you can decide to do as a trader. Everything is based off of that, right? It's, can I delay that satisfaction here today so I can get that satisfaction tomorrow, at the end of the week, end of the month, end of the year? If the answer is no, if I need to get the result here today, well, you're not going to get the result you want at the end of the month, right? So, yeah, I got anything else to say. I'm going to go make myself a quick cup of coffee. Just spend a minute here visualizing a successful trading day. It's going to be a little bit of a slower start to the morning. So just bear with me here, team. I'll be back in a minute or two, and we'll get after it then. All right, so I'm back, right? Obviously no early action here yet. We're not going to get increasing volume on this candle. Same thing with ES, right? Not going to get increasing volume on this candle, so we have to just wait it out here a little bit. Pretty rare that we get increasing volume on the second bar of the day. How's everyone feeling this morning? I didn't think I asked. Everyone feeling good, refreshed, recharged, ready to finish the year with a bang? Good. For whatever reason, John, when you say ready to roll, just I hear Stu Feiner in my head. Yeah. Yeah, Mikey, we'll just take it one trade at a time, right? One day at a time, one good decision at a time. And don't impose these time restrictions or extra pressures on yourself, right? It takes how long it takes. And it'll happen faster when you focus on the quality of your executions versus some impending deadline. Love to hear it, Craig. Yeah, CL though on Craig, right? We know we don't trade it on inventories day right until after 10:30, right? Look, guys, the more that we try to trade with some sort of self-imposed restriction, right? Oh, I gotta make this amount by this time, or if I don't become profitable by February 15th, I'm a failure, whatever it is, right? Then each losing day ends up feeling as if it's the death of hope, right? Ends up feeling as if, oh, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to be able to do it. And it makes it so much more difficult for you to look at your trading day objectively. Instead, you look at it as this, oh my gosh, I'm so far away from my goal. Oh my gosh, this is so much further away here now. And then you press harder and harder and harder, right? And when you press harder to try to speed things up, to get back on track, you start to make decisions that are no longer in your best interest. You start to make decisions that you think help get you there faster, and you try to skip steps, right, to accomplish that objective. And then all that actually ends up doing is costing you more time, putting you further away from your objective, right? Putting you further away from your goal. And it delays that process even more. So wanting to achieve something within a certain time frame is totally awesome. It's totally reasonable. I've got no problems with you thinking that way. But judging your self-worth based on a day-to-day perception on how close or how far you are is dumb, right? Because I don't think there's ever been a moment in my trading career where I have felt like I have made it, right? Or ever felt as if like it's enough. You just move the goalposts, right? So, like I used to think to myself, it's like when I moved here during the pandemic, I was like, okay, I'm going to move here. I'm going to focus on my business. I'm going to focus on becoming the best trader I can be. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And then it was, okay, once I'm averaging 10K a month, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go live from Airbnb to Airbnb. I'm going to go be super adventurous and super this and super that. And then I hit that number and I didn't change anything, right? I said, oh, okay, I'm not ready to do that. I'm going to wait till I hit 20K a month, right? And then once I hit that 6 months later or whatever it was, I still didn't go make that lifestyle change, right? And I kept passing on, changing the goalposts, moving on, to the point where I started to make a unreasonable amount of money to have remained stuck and not changed what I said I was going to change when I was making 5 times less, right? So when we obsess over that goal, we just move the goalposts, right? And if we get addicted to trying to speed up that process and then moving those goalposts, well, we always get caught in this where we're like chasing something that isn't there, and you're never going to feel satisfied, and you're never going to feel happy with your progress. And then the way that you try to basically solve to fix that and make yourself feel better is by trying to make more money, right? And when you're doing that and you're chasing it, what ends up happening inside your trading is you start taking on bigger risks, right? You start taking on bigger position sizings. You start to take on a disproportionate amount of headline risk, right? Basically in your P&L. And that only leads to one thing, right? You speed up your risk management. You start to make losses feel more personal. You start to take on way more risk than your mental capital can handle, and you blow up chasing something that isn't there, and you feel twice as bad, right, relative to what you were experiencing in the first place. So it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The more that you try to optimize for a dollar or for a objective or whatever it is, the further and further away you actually get from accomplishing that goal. So it's not to say that those things aren't valuable, and not to say that you shouldn't judge yourself based on that. Ultimately, this is a game that is about making money. But when we evaluate those targets on a day-to-day basis, and we hold ourselves or judge ourselves based off of that on a day-to-day basis, we can't get off of that roller coaster, right? Which is why it is so important to judge yourself based on the quality of your executions, right? And if you improve the quality of your executions, improve the quality of executing your plan, executing your stop loss, executing your take profit, right? Then the P&L will take care of itself, because you're focusing on things that you can actually improve instead of focusing on something that you can just chase. That's why it's such an important thing to focus on. That's why it's such a different mental model that you have to get better at. And if you're unwilling to make that commitment, I've said it 100 times, right? Good luck to you. But you're not going to find the success that you're looking for, and you're just going to keep wasting your time, and it's going to constantly be this woe is me situation. And eventually I'm going to get too exhausted, right, to repeat myself 1,000 times on these things. I can't want you to want to fix your process more than you want to fix your process. It's just the reality, unfortunately. I did post the holiday schedule here inside the Discord. So we'll stream on Monday the 23rd, but then no stream from the 24th to January 3rd. So I don't know if you guys can see my calendar here, but Christmas is on a Wednesday, right? It's kind of a weird day of the week this year. So the Thursday, Friday, right, not tradable. I think it's a half day in the markets on the 24th anyway. And then who's going to be trading the day before New Year's, right, on the 31st. Market holiday on the 1st. And then, you know, if I'm thinking objectively, people will be taking off the 2nd and the 3rd as well. So I'll be back at it full time here on the 6th. And, hopefully we can kind of kick off with a bang here as that kind of comes together. Again, taking a little bit of time off, right? It does the soul good. Recharge that mental capital, rebuild those mental capital stores get back to being disciplined, structured, methodical, right? And the one who is in control over their decisions. The market isn't going anywhere. It's not in a rush to do anything for us. So don't try to rush your process. Don't try to skip steps. Don't feel as if every trading day has to be a trading day. You'll see the improvement, right, from your P&L as you start to enjoy your life more. Even if I'm looking at the last quarter here of the year, right, after my little excursion to New York, after I had a couple days of getting my ass kicked, rebuilt my mental capital, right, and the P&L difference was significant. And then, went to the UK, saw some friends, saw some of my beautiful Chelsea play, and just coming back right after a couple of days off, the P&L bump was significant, right, since then. So recharging those mental capital stores, again, delaying that gratification from the market, right, it just does good things for us. So don't feel guilty about taking time off. It's not something that I'm particularly good at. Like, I take less time off here being self-employed than I did when I was working at a fund. It's kind of funny how that works. Pretty low volume here still. Not very enthusiastic price action here yet. Yeah, so far so chill, team. Nothing going on yet for me. We have not missed out on anything.
primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Okay, so watching NQ here a little bit. Might prefer to just trade this on the 5-min versus the 3-min. So, watching here still, just being patient, right? I'm really in no rush. Stop loss has to be 278.25. Just call it 278. Just being patient, right? Again, no rush to do anything. So, still no entry, right? Good decision here so far. So I'd say no look here yet. Okay, so back to possibly in business here on NQ. Let's see if this thing could break out above that high or hold 300, right? That seems to be a little bit of a point of resistance here. So didn't hold 300. Okay, 8 seconds here, 5 seconds. Gotta go increasing volume. Seems unlikely. Didn't happen on the 3. So again, right, we're waiting for a consistent narrative here. So no outlier volume on ES, right? Which is why I'm not interested in focusing on this yet. Again, waiting for NQ to hold and close above 300. Has not happened. So still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. So still a nothing here, right? Feel kind of bored. 40 minutes into the day. I don't have 25 trades yet. What's going on? Yeah. Hey, it's happened to everyone, right? But it's a question of, do I still want to keep behaving in a way that encourages that type of behavior? Or am I willing to study my trade, study my executions, learn from my mistakes, so that when I scale up my quantity of decisions, I can actually get better? When we don't have an edge, or we're not willing to study our edge, and we just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, we can't be surprised when our hand smells like shit after, right? So again, not going to be above outlier volume here. This might just be a grind. So for now here, team, I'm still being very patient. Again, I'm not sure if I see a tremendous amount of edge here yet today. FOMC day, historically not one where I want to be very aggressive. Because again, right, who's going to front run decent momentum going into the interest rate decision? Any of you guys got any experience on how to get a car dealership to be faster at communicating with you? Trying to buy something, and they will not answer, or they're so slow in communicating. It's driving me nuts. Not a Porsche, Igor, not a Porsche. It's too cold for that here, unfortunately. David Putty was a mechanic, right? Okay, still not increasing volume. So they've accepted my offer. They just don't seem to want to send me the wire payment details. Or they're just taking their sweet time. Cash is trash these days. No one wants to sell you anything in cash. It's all got to be financed. It's all got to be this and that and the other. I know, John. I know. It's crazy. End of the year, too, right? So we'll see how it goes. If I can get it sorted by the end of the year, that would be really nice. Or while the Canadian dollar is still absolute trash. That's really all I care about. Yeah, but that starts to get so complicated. I'd rather just pay in cash. Yeah, let's see here. It's 143, 107. So bad. I shouldn't have to leap through that many holes, right? That starts to not become efficient when they've already accepted it. It's just a question of timing. It'll come through. Someone mentioned go to a different dealer or whatever. The problem with this is there's two of this car for sale in Montreal, and they're both with the same dealer. So they've got me in a vice. Yeah, sure, Igor, sure. It'll be nice to get rid of the 2012 Jeep. Honestly, it's been pretty good to me, Igor. It's been pretty good to me. I haven't really had any issues with it, actually. No, I have already sold it. Cause I'll be moving down to the States here in a few months, and certainly didn't trust that car to make a 3,000-mile trek. But when I was looking at cars to buy in the U.S., the arbitrage opportunity is too good. So because the Canadian dollar is so weak, things are going for 30 to 40% discount over what it is in the US. So I'll save 15 to 20 grand, maybe even more, even after the import cost. So that's why I'm looking to pull the trigger here. Man, so far so boring. I get to bother you guys with my personal problems. Oh, that's disgusting, Igor. Yeah, the import tax to the States is 2.5%. It's pretty reasonable. Yeah, so emissions-wise, no issues. The only difference will be the like gauge cluster, right? So in Canada, it's in kilometers per hour. You have to then get it changed to be in miles per hour. But it's a digital gauge cluster, so you can do that pretty easily. You just do it in the settings. So no issues there. Still no outlier volume. Not trading CL right until after 10:30, 5 minutes before that data. No point. This is starting to feel a little bit like it won't be a trade here today. So I'm still just hanging out here, team, right? Not much for me to do here yet. Maybe we get a bit of a reaction here with crude oil inventories. Not a super crazy reaction yet here at inventories. So I'm just chilling here, still team. I don't have too much to say here, really. I feel like a little bit lost for words, or a little bit, I don't know, quiet, whatever you want to call it. But seems like a pretty boring day here going into FOMC. I don't know if I need to do anything. Yes, maybe. So be targeting 150. So stop would have to be 138. Okay, so again, being a little bit patient here. It's got to break out above 139.50 before I can set this up. And then based off of that, there it goes. Right, that would be a decent size stop loss, right? 1.5, so pretty tight. So you're looking for an entry under or around 140, right? At which point I could buy 5 contracts. So watching a pullback here. Okay, guys, I'm in. Average price 140. 5 contracts. 2-point stop loss, right? Okay, so let's see if this thing can go. Come on, fly, baby. Eh. Okay, see if it's got the legs. No chance to pyramid into this, right? Not yet, at least. Come on. See if we can keep pushing here. Get through 141. There it goes. All right. Starting to make some moves here. 375. So let's see if we got a bit more of a pop, right, for us to get some follow through on. The volume here is probably suboptimal, right, if I'm being objective. Likely not going to go increasing outlier. So let's see if this thing can keep running here, but pretty good little pop. There's a part of me that feels like I should maybe just take this. So you get one more pop here higher and see if it can really push. Will not let this go red now, right? Will not let this go red. All right, we're up more than 1 R at this point. Decreasing volume, so no chance for a pyramid. I'm a little bit skeptical here of this having the legs to get to 150. Nice work, Craig. Okay, give me another pop here. Yeah, it might be the only trade of the session here today as well, Bert. But hey, keeping the win streak going. Kind of just keep bouncing around here a little bit. 100%, Bert, 100%. I mean, a $600 day, you can't really complain about. Nice work, Michael. Don't do this to me. Yeah, well done, Kyle. Still holding out just a little bit here so I can get just that next chance. Still just an inside bar on this, right? Which is why I'm holding out some hope. $750, come on. Next little pop higher, I'm gonna look to get out. Come on, come on, come on. Like pop towards 145-ish, right? It's kind of the target here. Yeah, Kiki, so until you get up above your trailing drawdown, they're going to limit the sizing you can take. So just be patient with that for a few days, build up your buffer, and then you can increase your sizing. Again, higher high, higher low, but on decreasing volume. Nice. I'll do a good job towards building up that buffer. Look, in reality, I love that rule because it makes it really hard to blow your account unless you're doing really dumb stuff. So just focus on the quality of your executions, focus on controlling that dopamine, and you'll be able to build up your sizing again here coming up. Come on. Gotta be honest, this thing feels a little bit exhausted. It's responding worse than the dealership. Or its response is slower than the dealership, I should say. So, Craig, when I say I won't let this go red, it's just a mental stop loss, right? So if it gives me a reaction that I don't like, I'm going to just click X on that position. But I am fine doing that, right? If you don't have evidence of being able to accept the trade as it's pulling back, then I would set your stop loss to be, you know, the low of the previous candle, right? Whatever it is, but I'm willing to wait that out, right? I'm watching the reaction, basically seeing if I start to see an elevator down, right, then I'll get out. But that hasn't happened here yet. If I were to change my stop loss, I would let you know what that price was, right? Okay, so still in this here, still in this. That's $1,000. Come on. Give me a little bit more of a pop. All right, guys, I closed that position there. Fill price 144.75. Great little win. Let's go. So, not too shabby. So, 1121.93 on that trade. Not bad. I mean, in theory, that was the increasing volume there on that candle, so maybe didn't need to have gotten out of that trade. But it was just moving so slow, just kind of a grind. I'll take it and run. I'm always a little bit nervous around FOMC, right? With just kind of follow through and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'll take it. Close it as my P&L is increasing. Worst case scenario, right? I can always jump back in, but I haven't missed fuck all here. Correction on my fill. Fill price was 144.50. So yeah, I mean, I'll I'll take $1,200, right? Just about while doing nothing. Didn't really feel like I had to work here today, so that was pretty nice. Yeah, much calmer day here today for sure. But I have no complaints about yesterday either, to be honest with you, right? I had a lot of fun trading yesterday. I don't feel like I left any money on the table. Like, for me, I'm not trying to judge myself based on the number of decisions. I'm trying to judge myself based on the quality of them. And I don't think I took many yesterday that were a bad quality of decision, or that I saw the market wrong. Like after the first 45 minutes, I don't think I had a losing trade. And I have found that, at least personally, the ability to lose small preserves that mental capital, where they're taking 13 trades yesterday, although it wasn't, I was exhausted when the day was done. I didn't feel as if I was going to make a bad decision, right? Which I think is pretty important. So, okay, maybe I left a few dollars on the table here. I don't really care. I'm very worried that price action is just a little bit exhausted, right? So again, no complaints. If I close this 2 points too early, fine. Not a big deal. Would have been nice, but not necessary. All right, remember, guys, catching tops and bottoms is an element of luck, not an element of skill. All right, no one knows where the market's going to stop, where it's going to keep running, where it's going to keep going. So I took 2R on that trade, right? I got 2R my risk. That's awesome, right? That is a fantastic result. So I don't need to be greedy here or expect to get 10R or anything along those lines. I will juice my ratios, right? I'll skew my ratios in my favor by closing my trades, my losing trades early, right? Not take that max $500 loss. And so even though I only got a 2R on my hypothetical risk, it's probably like 3R to 4R to 5R, right, on my hypothetical, right, or on my in practice. So, okay, for sure, could have held this to 148. An extra 4 points would have been nice. But really not personal, right? Followed my plan. I didn't like how quickly things were moving. I can study that decision here and decide would I have done something different, would I have done the same. And holding against myself that I closed for a win instead of closing or hoping I was going to get a mega win, that's a bad way of self-induced torture. All right, how's everyone feeling? I don't think I'm going to do anything else here today. That's 14 green days in a row. That's not too shabby either. Sounds good, John. Yeah, well done, man. Look, 1 for 1. Take your little dollar win. Right? We're happy with the process here today. Didn't rush anything, didn't do anything stupid, right? It's gonna be a lot. Net gain this week. I mean, I didn't trade Monday. So we're at like 3,500 per account. Let's go, Kyle. Yeah, be chill, man. Be chill. Don't need to do anything too crazy after that. It's a great day. Yeah, I mean the last 2 weeks have been awesome too. I mean, we're sitting on almost 18K per account in the last 2 weeks. So almost like 100K in that time period. It's been pretty nuts. There's a reason why I want to spend some money. Again, right? Just the power of compounding here. No, I would say no. Well, yeah, I mean, once I move down there, I'll buy a place. I'll probably rent for a few months first, see where I like, but yeah, at some point I'll buy something. Look, main problem with NQ on the 10 is if I already thought that ES was extended, right, pretty late in the day, not a huge amount of momentum. I'm not sure if I see anything here that would indicate otherwise for me on NQ, right? A big candle, big volume, kind of going into our historical dead period. Going into FOMC just feels more like capitulation than continuation, or like an exhaustion move. It's like that one last gasp, right? So I just wouldn't take the risk personally. It's a day, right? Like with FOMC, it's a day where very much is a less is more environment, because it's not a momentum trade, right? Until the decision has been dropped, right? And then you get all that flurry of activity. The trade that you get right now is kind of like the hedge your positions type trade from funds. They're not really front running the news. At least not anymore. So it just makes it very easy for it to stall out, right? And kind of cause some chaos. All right, team. Final call for questions here. Final call for questions. Cheers, Kyle. Hey, stay safe, Jeff. But guys, it's been a lot of fun trading this Santa Claus rally. So we got a few more days here before the stream is done for the year. So let's keep making a few more dollars. We'll see how she goes. All right, guys, final call here. Final call. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Yes, pulling back here now. So yeah, I feel like I missed maybe a couple points, but nothing too crazy. I'll feel fine with that. And honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing to me, but it's what like a small change in technique makes such a dramatic change in P&L. It's crazy. That 13 is so absurd. All right, team. Well, same deal like always, right? If you have any questions outside of market hours, right, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But one trade here today, one win, not going to do anything else. And we're just stacking them up here. It's been a straight line recently. Long may it continue. Absolutely monster month. Let's go. Been a lot of fun, team. So, same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your afternoons. Looking forward to seeing you guys all here tomorrow in the stream. Having ourselves a big day. And we'll catch you up then. So, have yourselves a great one. And we'll talk soon. Peace.